The following program is an SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Good evening and welcome to SUTV Sports Night. I'm Amanda Newman.
I'm Travis Mandela.
I'm Will Ovington.
I'm Amir Carter.
This weekend was a busy one for SU sports. Congrats to the men's indoor track and field team for winning the CAC Indoor Championship, and to the women's for finishing fourth. The CAC championships for swimming were also this weekend. The men's and women's teams finished fourth and fifth, respectively, in the conference. Congrats to an excellent season. The softball team completed a perfect run through the Triangle Classic this weekend. Seagulls played 4 games this weekend, defeating opponents by a combined score of 31-1. The number 4 men's lacrosse team dominated number 19 Widener University on Saturday, 11-3. The Seagulls jumped out to an early lead, scoring 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game. Senior Luke Phipps got the offense going. Less than a minute later, junior Mike Caines would score his first goal of a hat-trick performance. Seagulls never looked back, scoring 11 goals from 7 different players. A great performance from the Salisbury defense and goalie Alex Taylor held Widener to just 3 goals.
Salisbury University's men's basketball team finished the regular season 88-66 win against Frostburg State University. Freshman Justin Whitner had a career high of 25 points, going 10 of 14 from the field. The two teams would battle back and forth in the first half, with the Seagulls leading 36-31 at halftime. In the second half, the Seagulls started to pick it up and beating Frostburg in the second half 52-33. Senior Dominic Milburn had 11 points, and freshman Charles Porter had 9 points and 6 assists. The Seagulls will play Christopher Newport tonight at 8:30 p.m.
The women's basketball team won 75-52 over the Frostburg Bobcats. Junior Anna Hackett scored 22 points and now has a career high of 1,212 points. She is number 10 scoring leader in Salisbury University history. They are currently playing St. Mary's College right now at Mag's Physical Activity Center.
The women's lacrosse team beat Stevenson University by the score of 8-6. Junior midfielder had a team-high 3 goals. Senior Ashton Wheatley had 7 saves against the Mustangs. They will be playing Catholic University of America this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Siegel Stadium.
So, let's kick it off and talk about the NFL. Have you guys watched any of the NFL Combine?
Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney was probably the most impressive person out there that we saw with the 4.5 at 6'5", 265 pounds. Which is, he's just a freak of nature.
Yeah, we were talking about the other day how he only did like 20 bench reps and he wasn't really trying, and then he comes out and does this 40-yard dash.
Well, I mean, Warren Sapp only did 16 reps coming out, and I think Pierre Paul only did about, 19 maybe. So obviously we've seen greats do it, and the reps don't matter. And then his vertical was like 37 inches. So we see he's a monster. I think he ran faster than most of the quarterbacks who ran, except for I think Logan Thomas. I'm not sure about that, but I just think the reps was just one thing. We've seen a lot of players do great without doing, excellent in the reps. But with that 40 time, that's all he had to do. He could have just ran the 40 and went home, and because he didn't even do any position drills.
Right.
And look, he's already. The Texans are already considering him being, number 1 now with J.J. Watson on the side.
Right. But the one thing that I didn't like was that you mentioned him not participating in the position drills, and I think that's going to raise a couple red flags for the scouts, questioning his work ethic, which everybody's been doing since he was in South Carolina.
Exactly.
So that's the only red flag for me. But other than that, he's a freak of nature, and I don't think that the Texans can pass up on a prospect like Clowney. And if they do think they want to get a quarterback instead, there are 31 other teams who would gladly trade up to get that number 1 spot so they can get Clowney.
Yeah, another red flag possibly on him was that he himself said that he was kind of hoping that the Falcons would trade up and get him. Texans might see that and be like, hey, what is that supposed to mean? But, I still think the Texans would consider getting him.
Right.
Exactly. And they tried to say that he had a hip flexor problem. That's what the rumor was, that his hip was hurting, and that's why he didn't participate. But I think, the pro day is where you're most comfortable. A lot of players like Johnny Manziel's going to throw at the pro day. He's not going to throw. Teddy Bridgewater didn't run or throw at the combine, throwing at the pro day. I think they want to be at their home, where the fans that always love them and they're that comfortable. So, but I see what you're. It's kind of, you would think that when you get to the Pro Bowl, the combine, you would try to do the best you could and show what you got. But Jadeveon Clowney doesn't have to do much. We know he's going to at least top 5.
Yeah.
So what about Michael Sam? Amanda, did you get to see Michael Sam's performance on the combine?
No, I only watched it for a little bit last night. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to see him. But I've been following a little bit of the combine.
What do you think, Will?
His combine performance for me was less than impressive. He's already an undersized prospect at the defensive end position, and he had a little bit of a below average 40 time. His bench reps weren't right, and his bench reps weren't great. So I don't think he's big enough to play at the NFL level consistently on the defensive line, but he's not nimble enough to play upstanding linebacker in, say, a 4-3 formation. So it's just something he's going to have to work on if he's the one that's to make it in the league.
Well, he wasn't exactly a star player coming into the draft. He was projected to go 3rd, 4th round. So it's not like he was disappointing at the combine, like he was going to be a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he did show up a little disappointing, but it's not like he was disappointing as in he was expected to be at like Jadeveon Clowney's level.
Right. But I think that's why I love their pro day so much, because I feel Michael Sam, with all the pressure he's going into, with all of this, at first he was just a prospect who can just go out, but now with him coming out, and now him and Jason Collins are like the face of homosexuality in pro sports. Mm-hmm. All that pressure, and he's just now, it would have been different if he was already in the NFL and he already had years in, but now it's like, okay, if he's not good, then we'll never hear from him again. So everybody wants him to be great. They want him to be this star player. Mm-hmm. And so I think he was, being that young and that nervous and all of that, I think thinking about going through your head, you would just freeze up a little bit. So hopefully he does better at his pro day, where he's more comfortable and he's settled into who he's going to become.
Mm-hmm. He does have a lot to live up to, that's for sure. But did you guys also hear how the NFL is trying to ban the N-word, and if the referees hear that, you're going to be receiving a 15-yard penalty? What do you think of that?
It's probably the dumbest rule I've heard coming from the NFL organization in a long time.
And they've done some pretty.
They have. But let's just say that this were to happen. That's just one more thing the referees have to worry about. They're already having a hard enough time identifying, holding, pass interference and all of that, and now they have to be listening to what all the players are saying.
Exactly.
And if one player says it to another player, all of a sudden you're getting 10 yards or 15 yards for talking to your teammates. It's just ridiculous.
I have two things. I feel like this is how can you regulate like these are grown men. I can understand if it was high school or little league or even college, but these are some men from the ages of 21 to 35 or some vets who are 38. How do you tell them that they can't talk or where they've been talking for years? And this is the word that in the African American community that people are trying to stop and trying to ban, and some people have accepted it and used it. So it's if they can't stop it, how can the NFL just say, okay, look, this is the rule? Mm-hmm. Is it it's so hard to regulate that? How do you know if a teammate wasn't talking to another teammate saying it, and the first altercation that brought this up was a referee talking to Trent Williams, and they were going back and forth. So, and the one thing is hard is that how can you do this, but then still have a team named the Redskins? If you want to regulate all derogatory, as much as you love the Redskins, I'm just saying, if you want to regulate, derogatory terms, then if you want to take away the N-word out of the NFL, okay, but you have to change the Redskins name because you can't do one and not do the other.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. But I understand. I saw Sal Palantonio say it's more of a PR move. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to, okay, Michael Sam's around. Okay, let's also try to stop racial problems, And Ryan Clark said that he's never been called the N-word by another player. So it's not like that's a big topic within the players that they felt like. So
exactly.
It's just something that, I don't know, maybe they're just trying to take some attention off the combine because it's really boring in the NFL right now.
I mean, all players are always going to talk trash. You know what I mean? It's not like they don't talk things to each other. It's just weird.
It's the culture of the game. They're gonna speak how they want to speak. Now, did y'all hear about the Jets though? I heard that the Jets might get Michael Vick.
What?
Because he's not gonna be with the Eagles, and Michael Vick's gonna be a free agent. I mean the Jets have Geno and Mark. I think that'd be kind of smart to get Michael Vick too. Even though Michael Vick's like on the borderline of being like washed up, or might still have something left. We really have no idea. It's hard to tell. Because one game he'll be great, the next game it'll be turnover after turnover. So do you think that would be smart for the Jets to pick him up?
I think it's a great business move coming from the front office, signing somebody like Mike Vick who's going to bring a lot of attention and he's going to sell a lot of tickets, at least for the first couple weeks if they sign him. But if you're trying to win championships, it's one of the worst moves you can make, I think, at this point in his
one
career.
of the worst moves? What did the Jets have to lose?
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing about the New York Jets. They will do anything in their power to steal the spotlight away from the Giants in New York. They know that they're the understudy to the Giants, and they'll do anything. They have done stuff before just to like get the media attention. But seriously, I think it would be like a not bad decision to get him so he can teach Geno Smith how to play the game before he retires.
I think Geno Smith could learn a lot from Michael Vick. Hopefully, I mean Geno's athletic ability, I don't think is on Michael Vick's level. Clearly.
But I think Michael Vick can also mentor him without you having to pay him to do so.
Okay.
So I just think signing him.
But Michael Vick doesn't want to be a coach. I mean, he's like 32, and he sees Peyton and Tom.
So just let Geno spend some time with Vick in the offseason. You don't have. He's not going to.
Vick wants money. He doesn't want to just spend time with Geno Smith. You could be a lucky fan who does that. I don't want to spend time with Geno Smith. Michael Vick is like, okay, spending time means you're paying me at least $5 million, and I'm gonna teach this kid how to throw the ball. That makes sense. I can see them do. I can see him being a maybe potential starter, a backup, and then if Geno messes up, because you know how Rex just like to put anybody in there when somebody messes up. That'd be a nice rotation. I mean, that'd be interesting. That'd be the most interesting thing is that the QB rotation throughout the game.
I can only imagine what that would be like. But what about the college basketball scene? What do you guys think of that?
Last week I told you guys Syracuse was going to lose 2 games.
Yep.
And you were very right, weren't you?
You did.
I could not believe
But
it.
I have a theory, because I always got my theories. The only reason why is because they had 2 fluke wins versus the 2 teams that they played. I can't
So they
remember
had to have 2 losses.
So they had
One
to
of
have
which,
2 losses.
though, was a fluke loss against Duke. Those controversial penalties.
See, look, so it's an eye for an eye. Because Tyler Eddings' half-court prayer, I mean, come on now. He can't make that shot 5 more times. And then the lucky steal at the end with the C.J. Fair layup. And then, okay, they're playing 2 lower teams, and then except for Duke. Which, I forgot about Duke. But I don't like that. I don't like that game. That was just because they had their feelings hurt a little bit. Because after that loss with Jim Boeheim, as much as I love Jimbo, he went off. I don't agree with that call at all. Just to let y'all know, he was moving still. It was just so many things wrong. And then the fact it was Duke, and the fact that just. Duke is Duke. I don't like Duke. I like Duke this year, though. I'm not gonna lie. I like Jabari Parker, and I like the team.
I just want to get Travis's thoughts on that foul call, though.
Was that a foul?
Okay.
What was the?
I don't think it should have been called.
Okay, thank you.
You just gotta roll with the punches.
Now they're saying that the reason why Syracuse lost is because of that, and because Jim Boeheim got kicked out because they still had a chance.
That was a double technical, so they got 4 foul shots.
Yeah, which was terrible. But I don't. Did you see him explode from?
Yeah.
Even Duke was surprised though. That's the problem. Like if Duke goes, oh, we got that, and is looking around, that means that there was a problem. And the fact C.J. Favorite, he didn't even go right at him. He tried to move out the way. It was just, I was watching that live. I was kind of sad about that.
Because by the time Rodney Hood got his feet set, C.J. Fair was already halfway up the air to the bucket. So that's a block, even if they do call something.
See, Travis he's smart. He may love Duke, but he's reasonable.
So now there's only one team left that's undefeated, right? Wichita State?
Who is still not number 1, which I'm happy about. As soon as Wichita becomes number 1, I'm gonna be so mad.
Then they're probably gonna lose.
They're gonna
I don't
go to
think
the
they're gonna
tournament
lose.
undefeated, and they're gonna lose in the Sweet 16.
I agree.
But Florida number 1. I love Florida.
And
Florida's great.
going to the Final Four.
So if we had to pick a Final Four right now, Wichita's not in it.
Wichita's losing Sweet 16.
So who is it? Is it Syracuse? Is Syracuse, Florida, Duke?
No, I think Duke's losing in the Elite Eight.
I'm taking
Duke's losing,
Florida
yeah.
to win it all.
I say
Florida
Michigan
winning
State makes it to the Final Four.
Okay, yeah, Michigan State. Okay,
Florida's gonna win since
you
they
can't
won
count out
football.
Izzo. Boy, Izzo.
Honestly, Michigan can make another run. They're looking good still.
I don't think I don't know, but they're still not that team from last year that went. You missed two big people, which is Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't think they can. They'll make a run for it. I can see them going Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8. But I don't know about all the way, but that is a good team. They got a real lot. They work well together. And did you see Kansas play? Andrew Wiggins
Kansas can make a run too.
They can make they're shaky to me still. It's like moments where, even with Duke, at moments I'm like, oh yeah, Jabari Parker, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
And then the next week they're number 17. Then the next week they're number 4. And they just go, yeah, so I don't know. It's like it's like a love-hate relationship with them. I don't know if I should root for them or just wait for them to fail.
You can do either one.
Okay, so this is interesting. I found out Iowa's head coach got them all to get off Twitter. He made everybody deactivate their Twitter accounts for the season, which made me think, should coaches start doing that more with their college players? Because like we said in the pros, they're going to say what they want to say.
Right.
But for college athletes, is it better for them to be sheltered?
I think so, to a point, because sometimes they don't know what they're tweeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could just tweet it in the spur of the moment and then realize you're going to get a lot of negativity back from fans and that kind of stuff. So maybe it is a good thing, so all they have to focus on is school and basketball.
Yeah.
And they don't need to worry about social media. They can worry about that once they're done playing.
And it's also not just protecting themselves from what they're going to say, it's also protecting them from what people are going to say to them. So I know Marcus Smart, after that incident in Texas Tech, he was getting a lot of flack on Twitter about about him shoving fans. Mm-hmm. So I think if you completely isolate athletes from social media, then they're less likely to get all that hate.
That is good.
Get to their head.
Yeah, you know Rashid Suleiman on Duke?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, like back in like the summer, he added his Snapchat, like he put his Snapchat out on Twitter just for anyone to add him. So I added him, and he puts pictures and videos in his My Story all the time. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that I look at, I'm like, dude, how like don't do this. Get in trouble for this.
Aren't college recruiters allowed to Snapchat? You were talking about that,
Yeah,
Chad.
like August 1st, college coaches are going to be allowed to Snapchat recruits.
That'll be great. So instead of getting your letter in the mail, you'll get a Snapchat.
You made it. That's funny.
That is so. Yeah, I like that too about the whole Twitter thing because they're young. That we're all around that age, and we say what we want, and sometimes you don't think about it. Like Marcus Smart, even though that was a serious situation, I don't think he had to push him.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather him push him or get on Twitter and go on a long rant and have what do you push in the moment, or later on you have him talking?
Just do it in the moment.
Well, the thing about the push was it was in spur of the moment. It's not he went out of his way to go push the fan. He was right there, spur of the moment, emotions got to him, and he pushed the fan. I think if he had not done that, got some time to relax himself, he probably wouldn't have gone on Twitter and said anything about it. So I think it's all about spur of the moment. So whose reaction was more surprising to you? Was it Marcus Smart or was it Jim Boeheim?
Jim Boeheim. Because Jim Boeheim's been coaching for like 30 years, and that was the first time he's ever gotten kicked out of a game.
Which I was surprised about that. Yeah. I thought but I guess he's more mellow than we think.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they said that, I was like, because the way he exploded was like, he just quickly.
Yeah.
It was like Pompeii. I did not see that coming at all. He almost like took his jacket off. I was like, oh my gosh, he was so mad about that. I'd be mad too, but I don't think I would do all that.
I think in spur of the moment, I could see myself getting that angry, throwing off the jacket.
You gotta throw the jacket off.
Spur of the moment, yeah, of course you gotta throw off the jacket.
Why, so you can move better?
At least you're not throwing chairs on the court.
Well, that's okay. But that's the great Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight can do that. You always got to be the first guy to do something. He's the first guy to throw a chair on the court and almost hit players. But we love it. We love him.
True. Anything exciting happening in the NBA?
LeBron James finally got
Broke
hurt.
his nose. He broke his nose.
LeBron never gets hurt.
Yeah.
Carmelo
That's
Anthony,
true.
Right.
who is my favorite and arguably the best player in the NBA ever. Carmelo said that he just like, the one thing he doesn't like about LeBron is that he never gets hurt, which is true. LeBron doesn't really miss. You said what?
I said he jinxed him.
I don't think he jinxed him. I just think Serge Ibaka doesn't like LeBron James that much and went out of his way to. That was nasty. When LeBron was on the ground, I've never seen LeBron so weak. Like it was just a nose, like it's just his nose. You would think it'd be something, better to stop LeBron, but all it was a hit to the nose.
That's still bad though.
But still, like you would, when we see Derrick Rose out, Derrick Rose has a knee problem. We see,
true.
Kobe, Achilles, and then like
Achilles.
the great LeBron James.
All of a sudden, LeBron
What is
has
his
a nose
kryptonite?
problem.
And LeBron, he's hitting the nose.
It's true.
Did you actually see the play?
No.
I
just
He
saw
made
it.
the basket.
On Twitter.
He still made it. So I mean, he's unstoppable.
I
You got-
heard he might be back in action on Thursday wearing a
Yeah,
mask.
playing the Knicks.
So the nose isn't going to stop him.
But I hope he doesn't play. I want the Knicks to win because the Knicks are having problems. Like Raymond Felton. Let's talk about Raymond Felton real quick. Okay, first of all, I remember when I was younger, there was a guy by the name Plaxico Burress who shot himself in the club in New York, had an unregistered gun, and went to jail for 2 years? Okay. Fast forward to now, and Raymond Felton's, and this is the story, this is what I've read, this is what his wife, she comes to the police station, has a gun, and says, Raymond Felton threatened me with this last night. They lose to the Dallas Mavericks that same day, by the way, so that just happens to be ironic. And now he has 3 felony charges. Well, it was two felony
felony
charges
charges
and a misdemeanor.
and a misdemeanor charge. Yes.
Okay. What do you do about this if you're the Knicks?
I don't think there's much they can do.
Yeah, there's.
There's nothing. Should they release him or should they just? Because this is not the Knicks season already looking terrible. Your star player Carmelo Anthony is already talking about how he's wants to see his options in the offseason. The team's not doing that well. J.R. Smith. I honestly am starting to hate J.R. Smith. Did you see what he did? Last night he pulled Vince Carter's headband down just when they were walking and said he didn't do it when they have him on camera. I'm really I used to love J.R. Smith. I'm tired of J.R. Smith for real. Untying shoes, late night partying, and then coming to games late. The Knicks are just out of control right now. And then Raymond Felton gets a gun charge. So this is not looking good at all.
And they got rid of Meta World Peace.
They got rid of. See, that's what happened.
Yeah. And
You lost
World
world
Peace
peace.
was keeping the world peace.
He was keeping the world.
Yeah, they voided the contracts of World Peace and like Dana Woodrick, whatever his name is. Yeah.
I don't understand. Why don't players learn? Like, if you're in New York and you have a gun, you should register it. I'm not saying that even
I
Darren.
think you should register a gun regardless
Oh, no,
of where you are.
I'm just saying, New York is even worse because Plaxico Burress, that is probably the dumbest crime in history. He went to jail for shooting himself on accident. And for 2 years, he didn't get probate. That was a long enough time for him to get, that just makes me so mad to see players do similar crimes.
Yeah.
Even Darrell Williams said he has 26 guns registered. Not 26 guns, sorry, 26 registrations in different states. He don't have 26 guns.
At least he has that. But I gotta say, one thing that I was very upset with was how the USA men's hockey team was only winning when it didn't matter. They lost to Canada and then they lost to Sweden and they got blown out by both of them. It was not
How do you
good.
guys take that?
I take it very hard.
The Canada loss to me, it wasn't as bad.
It was heartbreaking.
Okay, no, all right.
Justin Bieber
It was
here.
it was 1-0.
They said winner
sure,
keeps Justin Bieber.
No,
All right.
loser keeps Bieber.
Oh, loser keeps
So he's
Bieber.
still here.
Yes, it was heartbreaking because it's to Canada, but it wasn't as humiliating as the 5-0 loss in the bronze game.
Yeah.
That's
That
what
was bad.
I
shattered my heart.
I felt so proud. I felt so patriotic after they beat Russia. I was about to go out and buy a TJ Oshie jersey, and then they followed up the next day with a 5-1 win. I'm like, all right, yeah, we're gonna win the gold medal this
Yes.
year. And then I lose to Canada. I'm like, oh, well, forget this. I don't even want a bronze medal. Apparently, they
Apparently they
didn't
apparently
either.
they felt the same exact way.
Oh my gosh, no. By the time I was watching the Sweden-USA game, I was like, numb. Numb at the loss that we had lost to Canada and all hope was gone. I felt like it was sad, but yeah, 4 years from now, right?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that someone else would pull, like Zach Parise would pull Zach Parise, or someone else would pull Zach Parise and get the tying goal
Yeah,
with like 30 seconds left or however much time, but
exactly. It didn't happen. Canada's defense was dominant. Their offense was clearly dominant, and just didn't work for us. But at least we can say we beat Canada once, right?
And better news, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That was
That's true.
awesome. I was very happy to see that. He,
Not that I watched it,
My man, Dale Jr.
but
I mean, you didn't watch it?
no, I didn't
you
watch
didn't
it.
watch the cars driving around a giant circle?
If I want to watch cars, I'll watch my
I mean,
little
I'm
cousin
happy.
play with Hot Wheels.
I'm happy that Dale Earnhardt won, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won, because when I think of NASCAR, I think of Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge rivalry. But I think we're done for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to SUTV Sports Night. I'm Amanda Newman.
I'm Travis Chandela.
I'm Will Ovington.
And I'm Amir Carter.
Have a good night.